Good evening, live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. Here we present to you a 7 o'clock news bulletin. First, the headlines. The Sultanate's total production of vegetable and fruits reached 2.6 million tons. The completion rate of the first phase of establishing water distribution networks project in Bosher reached 64%. And the Omani Hajj mission prepares to provide its services to the Omani pilgrims during Hajj season. Thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a Kabbalah greetings to Her Excellency Halima Yaqoob, President of Singapore, on her country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan also sends a similar cable to His Excellency President Ivan Duque Marquez of Colombia on him swearing in as the new president of his country. The Sultanate total production of vegetable and fruit last year reached 2,600,000 tons. The National Center for Statistics and Information pointed out that the Sultanate's dates production reached 360,000 tons. The Governorate of Dakhliya dates production came first with 490,000 tons, followed by the Governorate of Muscat with 18,000 tons. The Sultanate coconut production from the Governorate of Dhofar reached 6,000 tons. The total production of the meat amounted to 45,000 tons and more than 111,000 tons of poultry. The production of fresh milk reached 96,000 tons, while honey production reached 480,000 kilograms. The Public Authority for Electricity and Water is implementing the first package of water distribution networks in the Wilaya of Bosher to include existing and planned residential areas. Saleh bin Khalfan Rahbi was there, and he has this report.
At a cost of more than 12 million Omani riyals, the Public Authority for Electricity and Water, DM, is implementing the first package of the project of establishing water distribution networks in the Wilaya of Bosher to include existing and planned residential areas.
The estimated cost of this project, around 12 millions, will cover entire area of Falag al-Sham, Al-Sudefi, Al-Awabi area, Hammam area, also Bosher Package 1, 2, Bosher 5, 4 and 6.
The project, which has reached a completion rate of 64% in the first phase, comes in line with the urban expansion of the Wilaya. It includes a water network in Al-Hammam area. The pumping station in Al-Ansab will be expanded by adding a new pump. In addition, 2 filling stations for water tankers will be established in Ghala and Al-Hammam, besides constructing a main line from the upper reservoir of Bosher to the area of Bosher 3. House connections will also be made to the existing homes in these areas. The project will be managed by the Center Control System in Bosher.
This project will cover around 1,500 only in Falag al-Sham, Al-Awabi area and Hammam, around 1,500 houses. The reservoir, Hammam reservoir, the capacity of the reservoir is 2,000 meter cubic.
Through implementing these projects, the Public Authority for Electricity and Water seeks to provide drinking water services to all wilayas and governorates around the Sultanate to complete the infrastructure, since water is an essential element in the development process of the country. The operation of this project is expected to be by the end of March 2019. From the Wilaya of Bosher, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
The Ministry of Transport and Communications decided to operate Suwayq Seaport on trial run next Wednesday, and the actual operation will be on the 1st of the coming September. The ministry explained that operating this port came to activate its plan in running small and medium commercial ports integrated with the Sultanate strategic ports. The Omani Hajj mission for 2018 headed today to Mecca in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to provide its services for 14,000 Omanis and expatriates residing in the Sultanate. The head of the Omani Hajj mission said in a statement that the mission will initiate its work upon arrival. It will make necessary preparations to receive the Omani pilgrims who will arrive by land or air to perform Hajj rituals smoothly. He held the cooperation and coordination between the Minister of Endowments and Religious Affairs in the Sultanate and the Minister of Hajj and Umrah in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The Omani Hajj mission includes iftar, religious guidance, administrative, financial and health delegations, as well as representative of the Public Prosecution, Royal Oman Police, media and scouting. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and yet to come in our news bulletin, the Omani Women Association in the Wilaya of Masuna celebrates the graduation of tailoring and embroidery course.
عبق فاح بين جنباتها، فنفثت سلاما برائحة لبانها. حلقت عاليا نحو السماء، فنقشت بأبجدياتها تاريخا جميلا، وبكرمها أمست مضربا للأمثال. مهرجان صلالة السياحي 2018 من 10 من يوليو إلى 25 من أغسطس.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Minister of Defense celebrated the graduation of the affiliates of the Royal Army of Oman, National Survey Authority and the Minister of Defense and a number of participants from the private sector institutions that completed the commentary or geometry and mapping course. The celebration came within the framework of training and qualifying national cadres, as it includes a number of lectures and workshops on making maps and conducting field survey, in addition to training on geographical information system. The graduation ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Nasser bin Sulaiman As-Sibani, Deputy Chairman of Public Authority for Radio and Television. The Omani Women Association in the Wilaya of Masuna in the Governorate of South Al-Batin celebrated the graduation of a number of girls that were trained in tailoring and embroidery. The girls were trained in a number of professions and crafts that are a part of the Omani traditional heritage. It's worth mentioning that the Omani Women Association is exerting great efforts to train women in various fields so as to qualify them to join the labor market in coordination with various institutions. The activities of the 19th Summer Campaign for Guides and 4th Summer Campaign for Scouts were concluded in the Governorate of the Far. The campaign witnessed a participation of more than 500 people from different clubs, universities, colleges and Omani women associations in the Sultanate. The campaign aimed to make positive changes for all participants and work to develop their skills and knowledge, which will enhance the voluntary work in the community. International news. Visiting North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho met Iranian President Hassan Rouhani today on the second day of his official trip to Tehran. Rouhani said at the meeting that Iran backs complete peace and security in the Korean Peninsula. He was quoted as saying that Tehran seeks comprehensive expansions of ties in all areas with Pyongyang. Rouhani also talked about the unilateral withdrawal of the United States from the nuclear accord and said that America's behavior recently means it's now being recognized by the world as an unreliable and untrustworthy country. The North Korean foreign minister said that his country's strategic policy is widening ties with Iran and confronting unilateralism. Ri described the U.S. withdrawal from the nuclear deal with Iran as incorrect and in contradiction to international regulations. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres met with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo today. Guterres and Abe said they discussed measures to ensure North Korea takes concrete steps towards nuclear non-proliferation and disarmament, as well as various other regional and global issues. The United Nations chief is due to travel to Nagasaki tomorrow to attend a ceremony marking the 73rd anniversary of the atomic bomb attack in the city. He is the first United Nations Secretary General to attend the annual ceremony.
Is a fundamental message for people.
The European Union's Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini met with Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop in Sydney today to discuss a range of issues including trade liberalisation. Mogherini said she hoped for a free trade agreement with Australia as soon as possible, and so it is as key for both the European Union's and Australia's economic prosperity. Mogherini said the free trade negotiations were launched in June and the first round of talks were held last month, so the rhythm and the pace is quite intense. Bishop also announced that civilians experts from her country will join the European Union's crisis teams in Iraq, as both agreed they wanted to see a peaceful, stable, democratic Iraq.
I can confirm what Julie mentioned. We also assess.
Former Michigan state lawmaker Rashida Tlaib has won the Democratic nomination to run unopposed for a House seat, setting her up to become the first Muslim woman elected to U.S. Congress. No Republicans or third-party candidates ran in yesterday's district's 13 primary race, meaning Tlaib is set to win the seat in November's election. She would take the spot held since 1965 by John Conyers, who stepped down in December, citing health reasons amid charges of sexual harassment. In December 2015, Tlaib expressed dismay when the candidate for President Donald Trump proposed to ban all Muslim immigration to the United States. She said that Muslim Americans would often condemn terrorism, but that there were always other Americans who didn't believe them. Emergency services in Portugal are struggling for a sixth day to contain a major wildfire blackening hills in the country's southern Algarve region. The Civil Protection Agency said today that almost 2,000 firefighters from across Portugal were deployed at the blaze, the highest number yet. They were supported by 6 aircraft and more than 380 vehicles. After recent torrid weather, temperatures were returning to normal with 31 degrees Celsius forecast for the Algarve. Gusting winds have made the battle more difficult, though firefighters working through the night managed to stop one front reaching the town of Silves, a popular tourist spot and a home to about 6,000 people. High clouds of black smoke have towered over Portugal's Algarve region, which is a top European vacation destination. Watching the Sultanate of Oman, and now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear to partly cloudy skies with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains. Low clouds and fog late at night and early morning are expected over the coast of the Arabian Sea. Winds will be westerly to southwesterly, light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and now to end this news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate's total production of vegetable and fruits reached 2.6 million tons. The completion rate of the first phase of establishing water distribution networks project in Bosha reached 64%. And the Omani Hajj mission prepares to provide its services to the Omani pilgrims during Hajj season. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. From the entire news team and myself, we do thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening and good night.